Yo, what's up YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. If you're new, my name is Jason. Go ahead and click that like and subscribe button because we have a lot of content your way. And if you're returning, you know what's up. Thanks for coming back. Also, this is going to be another giveaway video, so stick around to the end of the video to see what we're giving away. So today, what I really wanted to talk about was my experience with the Lowrider S after having ridden it for about 4,000 miles. You guys have already seen the title of the video. I'm gonna give you my thoughts and opinions on what I learned on my first 4,000 miles on this Lowrider S. And I'm going to gloss over all the good things because I think I've covered those things really well in the past. Most of those things are very self-explanatory. I mean, I bought the Lowrider S, obviously I liked it enough to buy it. So let's just start off with the stuff that I really liked for the first 4,000 miles. You know, I came from an Iron 883 that was converted to a 1250 kit. The immediate power, I just noticed it right away. The torque, absolutely amazing how much torque this bike has and how much that helps on highway riding. So power is one thing. I also love the 5-gallon tank. For those long distance trips, I think the 5-gallon tank is a must. It's one of the main reasons why I chose the Lowrider S. With a 5-gallon tank, I can get about 200, maybe 220 miles to a tank. So really good. That's plenty enough for me. Most times I'm not using it all the way, so I can go 2 or 3 rides without having to fill up, which is really nice. With the Iron 83, I was basically filling it up every ride. The suspension is great. It's a huge improvement over the Iron 883 that I had. You know, you still feel the bumps, you still feel all the little cracks on the road, but it's not a life or death situation as it was on the Iron 883. Handling, man, this is way better than the Iron 883 for me. Even though it's a bigger and heavier bike, it feels just as nimble, if not more nimble. Maybe because of the inverted forks. Yeah, it just eats up the curves, eats up the twisties. I love the fact that this bike can kind of do it all. So those are like high level, the good things that I really love about this bike. Of course, there are some things and quirks about this bike that I didn't really quite expect, and I didn't know until you really are well into your ownership of this bike. So those are the things that I really wanted to cover in this video. The first few topics I'm going to cover have probably been covered in other videos, but either way, you know, I still think it's worth noting. The first thing that I noticed was the gauges, and I've watched a lot of videos, I've watched a lot of review videos on the Lowrider S, and I knew this before purchasing because almost everyone says it in their videos. But yeah, the gauges are down here, which means I have to look down every time I want to see anything or any information about the bike. Anytime I want to get that information, I have to peek down, which, you know, I want to keep my eyes ahead of me. But at the same time, I'm not going to move my gauges up because I really do enjoy having the gauges down here, mainly for aesthetics. I really think it adds to the look of the bike. And that's just me. I know that's crazy, but that is me. The other thing that I think it's worth noting is the kickstand. This kickstand is absolutely probably the worst feature on this bike. You have a close to $20,000 bike, and to give it this weak bird leg of a kickstand, it just doesn't make any sense. Actually, I'll pull over here somewhere so I can demonstrate. This 511 store is one of my favorite stores. If you can see, here's my kickstand. First of all, it's right below the pegs. When I kick it out, I'm always hitting my shins. And when you go over to lean, it just doesn't really catch very well. And like you have to move it around, jiggle it around to make sure it's secure. And right now I'm on flat level ground, so you can't really tell, but like when you're on a little bit of an incline that goes this way, that is one of the sketchiest situations because it leans over so much and I'm always afraid that I'm going to drop the bike. So that is the second thing that I've learned about this bike. I think it's a huge design flaw. Ooh, cigarette butt right on the kickstand. Yeah, that's basically what the kickstand is, just trash. I've heard that they fixed it on the 21 models and above. I hope that's true because this kickstand is absolute garbage. So going back to the gauges, what I've noticed is a little bit of moisture gathering up on this, my speedometer gauge. It doesn't happen all the time. Like today, it's completely fine, but there are days when I see a little bit of moisture down here. I've done a little bit of research and I'm not the only one that have had this issue. It's kind of the luck of the draw. I mean, you can get it replaced via warranty, but you all know my beef with Harley warranty. I won't belabor that here. So that's another quirk, something you should know about this bike before picking it up. So the other thing that I learned about this bike, the rear brake on the Lowrider S is absolutely garbage. It's basically non-existent. I use it and it applies just a light amount of pressure. I know that a lot of people adjust the brake lever so that you're able to apply a little bit more pressure to the brake. And some people get brake linkages, which I think kind of does the same thing. For whatever it's worth, stock, it doesn't really apply a lot of pressure on the back brakes, but I guess that's okay because the front brakes are absolutely amazing. It just bites, no issues there. So a lot of times I'm just using the front brake and using the rear brake just for a little bit of light braking. All right, so the next thing that I found, like I said, I've had an Iron 83 with denim paint, and the denim paint was great. This paint on the Lowrider S, you probably won't get it on the camera, but it just gets so many swirl marks and look like those little light hairline scratches. I'm constantly just like wiping it down after every ride just to make sure it looks nice and clean. But yeah, I might look into some ceramic coating on this bike. A buddy of mine reached out to me and said that him and his friend are thinking about starting a business, so maybe I'll hit him up and maybe that'll help out with all the swirling and like the light hairline scratches. I mean, it's not a scratch because I can buff it out, but like it just constantly shows up on the paint. I don't know what the deal is with that. So we're on to the last two things that I've learned about the Lowrider S. One, I thought that this engine will be a lot cooler in terms of operation. Coming from an 883 engine, which was air-cooled, I just thought it was like insanely hot. All this heat coming from the engine. I would actually say the Lowrider S or the M8 engine is even hotter. When I'm riding and the exhaust is right over here, I can feel the heat on my lower thigh, and it gets so hot to the point where I have to put my leg on these highway bars. I thought, this will be a little bit more comfortable in terms of the temperature wise, but it's actually hotter. And the last thing that I've learned, this might not happen to you, it's happened to other owners that I've seen on the Facebook forums. M8 engine or the Lowrider S engine just eats up oil. I would say every other week or so, I'm constantly checking to see how much oil I have and filling it up and filling it up. It just runs through oil. And it loves to eat it up. Just have plenty of oil in hand, because sometimes you'll find out that you open it up and it's just bone dry. Never want that to happen. Always want this bike to be topped off with oil. So that is it for my video. That is all the things that I've learned about the Lowrider S in the first 4,000 miles. I'm excited to get to know this bike a little bit more and more, and I'm sure there will be more quirks along the way, but given all of that, I still absolutely love this bike. It's nimble, yet it can do long distance, so much power and torque on hand. Great bike, highly recommend it. Let's get to the giveaway. I worked with Shady Rays. If you've seen my Instagram page, where are they? If you've seen my Instagram page, they send out some free sunglasses for me just to do a couple of posts. And I wanted to give away the same pair to you guys. So here's a better look at the Shady Rays sunglasses. Looks killer to me. Comes with the polarized lenses. If you don't know anything about polarized lenses, they're amazing. It's like HD in real life. I love this wooden side panels on the sunglasses, and this unique little pearloid, I don't know what you would call this design, but yeah. So yeah, all you have to do is be a subscriber. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button, comment on this video, and you'll be entered. And usually what I do is I pick out a winner on Friday or sometimes early Saturday afternoon, and then I'll post it on my YouTube channel posts. When the community feed where you see the pictures, I'm gonna keep it here for safekeeping. But yeah, I love giving away stuff to you guys. It's just my way of saying thank you for supporting this channel and watching the videos and commenting and interacting with me. I love all that stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna skate out of here, and until next time, I'll see you all later. Peace.